I'm Steve Farnsworth. That's Adam Hellaway, and this is a Digital Marketing Minute. Today we're going to talk about visual marketing strategy. Now, Adam, you actually had a couple interesting observations about some of the new platforms that are coming in and how a company might use them, what strategy might use to incorporating those into the marketing plan.
Yeah, the term kind of visual marketing strategy is coming about due to the fact that there's a lot of popularity and emergence with things like Instagram, Pinterest, and even Facebook has gotten into the game with making their profiles much more visual and allowing folks to post, they're not only just post their photos now or images, but actually do a lot of sharing of those photos directly within the stream. And so it's becoming a really popular trend. There's a number of ways that people can take advantage of that. And to some extent, it's just really about branding, about taking advantage of being able to show something in a more visual form, to put text into that image, to have messages that match and kind of fit well within the brand messaging that you have in particular. And then also about discovery. So, my thoughts are that when people go shopping, for instance, for a product or service, they don't do it with a paper in hand that has all the products written in text. They actually do a lot of, they're visually attracted to a particular item as they're window shopping or see something in a mall, for instance, or in a catalog. And so a lot of what seems to be going on is this evolution of images being much more than just simply photos that are posted within your blog post or, Flickr, for instance, as the only place which is really storing images for folks, which is not really a place to brand yourself very well. So things like Instagram, for instance, have really, really taken off. Of course, we heard that Facebook bought them, and I think they understand that images are playing a big part in what people are doing. And in fact, Instagram themselves have just recently launched a blog to try to help marketers understand better how to use their platform for business and marketing and awareness.
Now, obviously, if you have a visual product, it's a great way to kind of go out there and show it. What if you have your company and maybe you don't make a car or clothing or something like that? How might you look at approaching a visual platform like that to incorporate for your own branding, for your own marketing?
I'd say there's a couple ways of doing that. Sometimes it's just about sharing a message, and it's about making a connection with your audience around your brand. So using visuals to reinforce some text that you're adding to it to make a statement about something. So let's take an example of somebody like a HubSpot or even Marketo, who's very much trying to convince people to look at their marketing and look at their lead generation in a very different way. And Marketo, especially as of lately, has been using images a lot. They've gone ahead and paired up their own sort of kind of marketing philosophy and quotes directly from themselves, their CEO, and other folks in their company with funny and pithy sort of images in order to kind of keep people laughing and engaged and remembering that they even exist. And this is specifically on Facebook. And then there's other folks like Red Bull, for instance, who's definitely more of like a product, and they just kind of strictly keep their photos, especially in particular, specifically on Instagram, they keep their photos very much revolved around the feeling of what it's like to be a part of that Red Bull tribe with extreme sports and really awesome stunts and people in wingsuits and things like that with the Red Bull logo emblazoned on the side of their helmet.
One thing I think it's probably worth mentioning is taking a lead from what you just said, is that if you are in a company that has some more challenges in terms of how you might represent yourself visually, follow some of these people and look at what they're doing and seeing what you can adapt, not just what you can't do, but what you can adapt. Follow 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 of these people on Pinterest or Instagram or both, and understand how they're using the platform for that visual storytelling of their corporate narrative, their brand. Adam, just kind of wrapping that up, what would you say the takeaways are today?
I think the takeaways are to look at the content that you have available, and you're likely using just text as a way to communicate. But now, how can you add a more visual mode of communication, both images alone to tell the story, to give a peek into the kind of backstage view of what's going on with your brand, and really test it out and play around with it and see what are the types of images and messaging that you can couple together to make people react and to kind of strike that nerve. Text is great and it involves reading, but images themselves kind of strike a different nerve, and kind of connect with people more emotionally. And so I think you'd be pretty amazed at the type of results you might find in trying to spread your brand's message using images.
Very good. That's the Digital Marketing Minute. Please like, share, do whatever you do, subscribe. Love to talk to you more. Leave comments down below. Thank you.
Thank you.